Hello, thank you everybody for joining us today. My name is Andrew Duncan with Cloud Adoption Solutions, and we have another great Trailblazers we love guest. Thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us today.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, Lucas, for those who might not know you and don't know about your time at Cloud Adoption Solutions, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here?
Yeah, sure. So I lead our Salesforce practice. I'm our technical solutions architect kind of person. And then, with that, I also still do the delivery in the building and kind of just oversee our whole Salesforce practice of the business.
Yeah, jack of all trades. I know. I spend a lot of time asking you questions, that's for sure. So definitely a trailblazer and someone who's been involved with Salesforce for a while. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. So I guess we'll start with the beginning. I think that's, a great place to start. Tell us about your introduction into the world of Salesforce and what got you started in your, role as a trailblazer.
Yeah, sure. It's actually a pretty interesting story. I wanted a career change. And I was obviously I'm a little bit later in life. So I was like, well, what can I do to get out of the career I was in? I was actually in the trades. I was an electrician. And so I found out about Salesforce from Shannon Gregg, that also works at Cloud Adoption Solutions. And she kind of turned me on to the platform. So I just got on the trailhead. I mean, I've always been interested in computer science.
Right.
And for a long time since I was young. So I kind of had the background, and actually a lot of that relates over from being an electrician. But I just dove into Trailhead and started learning on my own at nighttime and weekends, and just picked up the platform pretty quickly. And then I got my admin certification pretty quickly, and just kept learning more and more and more, as we all need to do, really, to just stay on top of all the changes that Salesforce is always making, or the updates, or the change, the new products they're putting out. So yeah, I just enjoyed it a lot, and I still enjoy it today.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know being an electrician is a lot of problem solving, just like being a Salesforce admin and developer is. So yeah.
Yep, really very similar.
Yeah. So being someone who, was doing all that learning on your own, I know, I think your time of learning Salesforce was like a record pace. I remember when you told me how many weeks it took you to learn being a Salesforce admin, I was kind of blown away. As someone who's experienced like that, what's your favorite tool to learn Salesforce? What's the best resource to you that someone can use to learn more?
It's still Trailhead for sure. It does the best, but I would say after that, even if you're not getting paid, just volunteering, just shadowing, having someone give you real life scenario problems, edge cases and just business requirements to start solving problems or making, building solutions.
Right.
Even if you're not going to deploy them or give them to the client, but actually doing real things, I think is the best way to help you learn in a quick and efficient manner. Trailhead is really good, but you still don't really learn. You don't get that full on the job training.
Sure. Trailhead. Yeah. And I know that hands-on situation definitely helps, especially when you're in a time crunch with a client and you have being pulled in a million different directions. So
yeah. So however you can do that, I wouldn't recommend ever trying to do it alone. Some people say oh, just go volunteer for a nonprofit, but then you get underwater with all the things that they want you to fix, and you can get lost very quickly. So,
or worse, mess up their org.
Yeah. So find a mentor, find someone that is a consultant or working in the ecosystem, and just kind of have them pass you some of these solutions they're building, and have them give you the requirements, and then you could kind of build it in your own dev org and come up with your own solution.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's great. And as someone who I know we lean on really, hard with internally, we're always asking you to take on these really big projects, and you work with a lot of different types of clients. So I know you've seen a lot of different Salesforce orgs. What to you is the best kept Salesforce, product secret? What's something that you're seeing used really well and you think a lot of others could benefit from it?
I really think the platform itself, people forget Salesforce in the background is a full platform that you can develop on. So right, you have your Sales Cloud and your Service Cloud, but say you want to build more things, build more apps, just internal use, whatever they may be,
Mm-hmm.
You can get the cheaper Salesforce platform license
Mm-hmm.
and kind of put more people in your Salesforce org, with custom objects, integrations, whatever you might want to do, in the background, it is a platform. Also, it's not just, a sales and service tool.
Yeah, which is a totally different answer than we've gotten so far with our other guests. So that's great, and I think that shows kind of your experience with making the tool the best it can be. So for someone who's like really plugged in, and you're seeing, I know you see what clients are doing and how people are utilizing different things. Could you make like a Salesforce prediction? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be Nostradamus. It doesn't have to be super extreme, but do you have something that you think is coming in the future?
That's a tough one. Something coming in the future with Salesforce. Well, I think you're going to just keep seeing more and more different industries start using the platform, all over the world, whether it's financial services or the higher education cloud that they have now. But I think they're just going to keep making more and more industry cloud, as they call it, within the breakout of the industries. They're just going to keep finding more and more people to use it because, it is a really great tool and platform for everyone.
And I guess that means new customizations that are industry specific and more training for you and the team.
Yeah, right. More package, more installed packages based on the industry to maintain and review. And usually that means more complex architecture. So,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you're a man of many talents. So, outside of Salesforce. So what's something that you're like really into right now? I know you have a lot of hobbies. So like, what's something that you think somebody else, might look at and say, wow, that's really cool. I want to try that.
I mean, yeah, my favorites are mountain biking, like true off-road downhill type mountain biking, snowboarding. But then my favorite would probably have to be my cooking, just home cooking. You have to eat 3 times a day. Why not enjoy it? Make it a meal, make it fun, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones, and share it with your neighbors. So that would be it, home cooking.
Any new books that you're reading through right now, recipe books that you're cooking through?
Let's see, a new one. There's a crazy person, not crazy, but like the cookbook is kind of wild. The person is from Australia. It's called And That's What I Reckon. But the one I really recommend, like everyone should have, it's like the Food Bible.
Okay.
It's from Kenji Lopez.
Yeah.
And the book is called The Food Lab. And it's like this thick, like 700 plus pages. And it kind of it's not just recipes, but it's the whole science behind them. So kind of goes along with Salesforce, right? Like computer science, you like the theory in the background. So pick up Kenji Lopez Food Lab, and you'll learn a lot more about food than you ever knew was possible.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. We'll put a description to that book in the bio for those who might want to go look it up. Lucas, thank you so much for being here. I know you're incredibly busy, but I think people do have something to learn from you. So what we're going to do is put your information on your social media, your handles and your email in the description so people can reach out to you with their questions, whether it be, career wise or just trying to get, a mentor, learn more in the industry, see what you're up to. We'll put those pieces of information there, but thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, welcome. Happy to be here and happy to, share my love of Salesforce.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here for another installment of Trailblazers We Love. I'm Andrew Duncan with Cloud Adoption Solutions, a 100% women-owned Salesforce partner. Make sure you reach out to us with any questions you might have about Salesforce. We're always here for projects and to answer questions for you. And Lucas, you never know, he might be on that call. So give us a shout. Let us know what you're thinking, and please subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much, everyone. Lucas, thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.